Residential high-rise buildings on Oahu that don't have fire sprinkler systems now have about a month and a half left to get a life safety evaluation to comply with the current city ordinance. As we told you on our news last night, yesterday marked 5 years since the deadly and destructive Marco Polo fire. When that fire happened, the Marco Polo, built in 1971, did not have sprinklers. Tonight, we follow up with a closer look at the safety changes prompted by that fire. No one can forget the haunting images from July 14, 2017. A fire at the iconic Marco Polo condominium on Kapiolani Boulevard that wouldn't go out despite the efforts of about 130 firefighters risking their own lives to battle the blaze. The fire killed 4 residents. In the wake of the Marco Polo fire, there was a push to require older residential high-rise buildings to install fire sprinkler systems. There was pushback from some condo associations over the cost. So now, under the current city ordinance, the condos can either install automatic sprinklers in the common and living areas or undergo a so-called life safety evaluation and take steps to pass the evaluation with an acceptable score, which looks at things like fire barriers and alarm notification systems. Kendall Ching is the acting battalion chief of HFD's Fire Prevention Bureau.
Originally, they had 380 buildings that was on that list. Now, currently, there's 319 buildings that need to comply with ordinance. The buildings that did not have to comply with the ordinance didn't meet the standards as of high-rise building of 75 feet or more, or they proved that they already had sprinklers in their building.
The buildings still on the list have until the end of next month to submit a life safety evaluation and until May 2030 to get a passing score. Thus far, HFD says 275 of the 319 buildings have submitted a life safety evaluation. 20 of those have an acceptable level of safety.
So as the fire department, we understand the cost significance, but we do emphasize to all these members that have a vested interest in that to do a comparative analysis when they make these decisions, because it might just be a few extra dollars that they install sprinklers. And we will always advocate for sprinklers as the only measure that actually extinguishes the hazard, which is the fire, which causes damage.
HFD says thus far only 3 buildings have submitted a letter of intent to install a fire sprinkler system, and they must install the sprinklers by May of 2038. And only 1 of the buildings has already installed a fire sprinkler system, and that's the Marco Polo, which finished installing its sprinkler system in the common and living areas last October.
As the fire department and installing sprinklers, it's good news, and then as a remembrance of July 14, 2017 of the Marco Polo incident, and in remembrance of 4 people who perished and over 30 units were destroyed and 80 damaged, and over $130 million in damages, as well as the hundreds of people that got displaced. We're thankful that, yes, they decided to install sprinklers so to prevent another tragic incident like that. So hopefully other buildings will consider that and make a good decision on how they move forward.
And if you have questions regarding fire sprinklers or the life safety evaluation, HFD does hold seminars and can even go out to speak with the condo association or residents. Call HFD at 723-7161 if you want to learn more about that.